Welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we, and by me I mean you.
How are you going to start the podcast off like that? Looking so serious with your hood.
Dude, all I'm saying is that if you haven't seen this on the YouTube, you're just listening to it, go to the YouTube. We've got a new YouTube channel.
Yeah, the Back Catalogue podcast. It's called the Back Catalogue podcast. It's like the Back Catalogue, but with podcast at the end.
This is the podcast where we, and by we I mean me, Apple, my co-host / co-founder Vincent. We dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. And Vincent, can I just tell you something straight off the bat? We've moved into spooky season. It's October's very own October.
October's very own.
You know?
Aubrey's here. Aubrey Hepburn's here. They're all here.
So this month we thought, let's treat ourselves and do nothing but the spookiest of movies that we can find. So today we are doing 2022's very own Prey.
Prey. My mum asked me when I said we're doing, what movie are you doing? Prey. Oh, like God? No, unfortunately not, Mum.
Which I mean, look, if you're thinking of Prey, that's just that word by itself, that's the first word that comes to mind. Like that version of Prey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like unless you're into like biology and like flora and or fauna, but most likely the fauna.
Yeah.
You're not thinking Prey, Prey, 2022's very own. Now, I want to give you some facts about this, and I will say that we're going to get spookier than this. This is just the start, and it just happened to fall at the start of October.
This was just because we were going to do this movie anyway, and then you said, hey, why don't we do Spooktober? The Back Catalogue Spookcast.
If you love the Back Catalogue Spookcast and you'd love to have some more of the Back Catalogue Spookcast, we actually have the Patreon. Now, the links are all below. Wherever you are, the links are below. On today's episode of the Patreon...
Wherever you are, look below you.
and you just see us.
See us.
Like we might take a soul.
Sign up for the Patreon.
The Patreon is called the Back Catalogue After Dark. And today we're doing 2022's very own top 10 people who were cancelled. So we're going to find out who was cancelled, while they were cancelled, and whether or not they should stay.
I'm very
we're
concerned about this subject, but I mean, you seem pretty confident.
I just got one of the best notifications you can get. I just got money to the bank account. I'm happy, you know.
It's payday.
But here it is, Vincent. Today we are doing 2022's very own Prey. Now let me just get some facts about this, Vincent, because that's what I know you're here for. Because I just skipped out of the facts here. But while I'm looking for that, Vincent, what have you been up to today, man?
Welcome. What I've been up to?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just working and then I came here.
This has got the 7.2 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got 93% of the Rotten Tomatoes. This had a budget of $65 million, but it went to streaming services. So box office is not something that is apparent. But I will say, what people have been saying on the streets is that this movie is successful given fan interest.
Yeah, we've been doing those. Hey, what do you think about the movie Prey? Oh, I'm just doing my grocery shopping.
Do you mean Prey, P-R-A-Y?
You mean Prey? I don't believe in Jesus.
Vincent, a skilled Comanche warrior protects her tribe from a highly evolved alien predator that hunts humans for sport.
For sport.
Fight against wilderness, dangerous colonizers, and the mysterious creature to keep her people safe. And that's the whole movie.
I mean, that's the whole movie.
That's the whole movie. We don't even need to sit here and do things. So we can just give it a rating, we can leave. Here's what I want to do, Vincent. I just want to hear from you. Because like this level of film, like this Spooktober level of film, right?
Yeah.
This is not really, from the get, this is not necessarily your genre that you go to first.
Yeah, but this is not a horror movie. This is I don't know what to call it. Maybe
this is probably
thriller?
action adventure / sci-fi.
Action adventure. Anytime I hear action adventure, I'm thinking of some like teenage kid going out into the world and, I don't know, finding a sword and then he's becoming King Arthur or something.
Or like
when I hear action adventure.
Or like some Hunger Games action.
Some Hunger Games action, that's right. Like they've got to overcome something and they're a teenager. Action adventure. So what did I think of this movie? Yeah, it's definitely not a horror movie. It has some of the horror, I guess, suspense bits, but I like them. I like that in movies. I like that suspense. I just don't like the horror element.
You don't like the fact that like you're coming into a space, you know that there's going to be jump scares or something like that. That's just going to make it's made to make you feel scared.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes there's enjoyment in that, like what you said. If it's suspenseful, you know, there's that. Oh, is this going to happen right now? Is this going to happen later? But in some horror movies, it's just like you think there's going to be suspense, but it's just 100% spooks all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched that many horror movies, but every time I feel like I think that I'm going to be scared, but then I sit through the whole movie just expecting something to jump out at me at all times. And so when it comes, I'm not even surprised.
But also because you work in a space of algorithms. So you're doing the algorithms. You're saying, how scary can this really get? Like physiologically, my heart is going to increase by this percentage.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to happen. And you know that in advance. So you're like, this is fine.
But also I'm looking at the algorithm and I'm going, algorithmically, this is where they're going to jump scare me.
Yes, exactly.
And there he is. There's the clown with the bad haircut.
Dude, you talking about me? That's why I'm wearing this hoodie. But Vincent, I agree. I wouldn't say this was very much a Spooktober special, but the reason we wanted to do it was because we heard that it's going to be straight up Comanches taking on the Predator.
That's honestly, when you told me I was doing this movie, I already had this on my list to watch because number one, the movie poster is unbelievable.
Yes. No, you're good. I was just making sure that the lighting is right on the thing.
Yeah, because last time you said, oh, bro, you're looking like Neo from The Matrix is so dark.
Yeah.
And then apparently you fixed it. And I'm looking at what I'm editing. And when I'm Matrix from the Neo, I'm just looking like regular Vincent from the Back Catalogue podcast, the podcast where we. And then you've changed it to you know, I don't know. It's like the angels are lighting my every step.
Like instead of the Matrix, you're like Keanu Reeves from Constantine in the final scene when he goes to heaven. Like you're that man.
I'm that man.
That's what's happening.
I'm that man.
I realise now that I have made that mistake, and maybe it's because the angle that I'm on, it makes it look darker than it actually is.
Yeah, next time just leave it.
I'm just going to leave
Like
things.
I've set this up.
You did set this up, and you know the algorithm.
I know the algorithm. That's right.
So we're talking about the prey and the fact that it's like Comanches, and this is something that's been raised by many people, and we're going to get into the actual movie and our hits and our misses of this. But something that's been raised by many people is, why doesn't the Predator series just become put the Predator in different points in time with different characters?
Absolutely.
There doesn't have to be any continuation of any story. It can just be like, hey, the Predator's here. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose.
That's right. Because it's just the Predator versus something. That's basically the premise of these movies. I'm not saying that's the only premise that they can do. Like the Predator can go on an action adventure. Like he can do Hunger Games things, and like Mans is going to win.
Mans would be up there at least top 3.
Yeah.
Until he runs into potential like Comanches, because like that could change things.
I mean, Katniss Everdeen.
Oh, Katniss Everdeen done for.
Bro, she done.
She done for.
She got the boop boop boop.
Yeah,
that's
dude. What are you going to do about that? I mean, there's things you can do about it because we witnessed it here.
We witnessed it. And like Predator, in all the movies that I've seen, Mans is deceased.
He doesn't come out very good at the end of the movie.
No, that's right. I mean, I've only seen this one and the original Predator.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, you know, funny thing, I was talking to my partner about the movie that we're going to watch.
Like your partner in crime?
My partner in crime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I keep?
Because I'll be doing crime things with this hoodie on, man.
You look like you're doing crime things. No, my partner in real life, not in fake life. Like this is just all a cartoon, bro.
We're doing deep fakes here, mate. We're not real people.
I'm actually Tom Cruise. Suss the teeth.
They look good, man. You look like you've had braces, but you never had them.
Bro, that's
genetics, man.
That's just genetics, you know.
Yeah,
I got nothing else to say.
That's right.
I was telling my partner. I said we're doing Prey. She said Prey, like Prey.
Like the biblical sense.
Like the biblical sense. No, and she asked me what it was like, and I said, do you know the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, this is that movie, but instead the Arnold Schwarzenegger character is a Comanche Indian. Comanche female.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to say the wrong things. It's Comanche
just Comanche is like that's their I believe that's the tribe that they're within.
That's their
and
tribe.
their region.
Okay, and they are Native American people.
I'm not.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
speculating.
Yeah,
we're not from Americas.
no, that's right. I'm just saying.
Just refer to them as Comanches because that's what it said on the synopsis.
That's what it said in the synopsis.
You were going
Okay.
to stick with that.
It's a Comanche female, and my partner goes, "Why would Arnold Schwarzenegger be playing a Comanche female?" and then I said, "Yeah, the way I described that made it almost obvious that Arnold Schwarzenegger was dressing up as a Comanche female, which would have been hilarious." Can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie with just a real bad wig on, fighting the predator?
I mean, that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic, nevertheless. But we're in a space in which that might not work too well.
No, that might not work too well.
Ethically.
And the individual that played the titular prey, top tier.
Oh, I mean, top tier. I had the actor's name.
You asked me a question. I went on a tangent. What did you ask me?
We were just talking about what would you like to see in regards to where this could go?
That's right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Just stick Predator in some place with something. It doesn't have to be a person.
No, absolutely.
Chuck him in there with like a big fish. See what he does.
Like Predator versus Jaws.
No, I'm talking a fish, not a shark. Like just a big fish.
But that would be hilarious though if it's like it's in Amity. There's all these shark attacks, people dying. Chief Brody needs to get out there, and Predator comes through. He's like, bro, look, man, trust. I'm coming. I kill all the greatest predators.
Trust.
So let me go through. And then at the end, Predator's sliding down like the dude at the end of Jaws, and he's like, "Rah!" when he gets bitten, but instead of blood coming out of his mouth, it's all that green goop.
Oh man!
You imagine Predator sitting in sea shanties.
Dude, sea shanties?
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, Predator's got the white picket fence.
Why? Because what does that represent?
I know it represents something. It means that everything's perfect. I think.
Right. That's
Shout
right.
out to Year 9 Film Studies.
But I was
10.
more so saying that Predator's dead at the end, so there ain't no white picket fence for Predator.
No, only white picket fences in heaven for him.
Yeah. But the cool thing about the Predator character is that they're not there for world domination. Their whole thing is to better their skills, and they go to planets wherever they go, and they fight against the greatest predators on that planet. That's why throughout this movie you see the Predator go up against wolves, go up against a bear, and then eventually go up against the Comanche people.
Yeah, I like how it's just inferred from the scenes. Mm-hmm. You don't have to have known what Predator is. You could come into this movie completely blind and just watch the movie, and you understand. Sees the wolf, then he's squaring up. Then he sees the bear, he's squaring up.
Yeah.
He sees the gun, he's squaring up.
And I think the important thing that people can learn about this movie is when you have an established character, even if they were established 50 years ago, right? You can just bring them into the space and tell their story through the scenes. You don't have to have a scene where it was like, actually, 35 years ago, the Predator did come here and did this, this, and this.
Bro, that's every horror movie ever.
And it's like,
on this day in this house, under these floorboards, the back catalogue was looking up from below, telling you to subscribe to their Patreon for only $2 a month.
Dude, we got content. We got.
That's robbery.
Tell them how much content we got over there from the.
We got heaps of content.
From the floorboards.
Oh, from the floorboards?
Yeah.
Bro, we got floorboard content out of the wazoo.
So, but this is the thing, right? How dumb do people think their audiences are?
Very dumb. It's everything. I read a lot of comic books these days.
Yes.
So many comic books, they're going, and it's this because of this. And hey, you remember this guy? He's the reason for this.
Well, and
just tell the story. Yeah. Let me answer the questions. I don't need you to answer all the questions.
And given that we have internets, not only the Internet Movie Database, but we have just the old internet to our advantage right now. You can search something up if it's really, really playing on your mind at any point. I've seen people do it in the cinemas, right? So you don't even have to worry about that. The other thing is they're doing it with classic characters as well. So they'll have Jaws, right? They'll put a shark in the water and they'll be like, well, the reality is because a shark is actually a meat eater. It must eat other animals. And one of those animals happens to be people swimming in the water.
They're explaining just regular animal kingdom things. Like because it's an animal, it has to eat other animals because it's a carnivore.
And they
But these ones, they're herbivores.
like
So only the plants have to watch out.
our biology teacher comes out, just pulls down the whiteboard. He's like, all right, so this is the food chain right here. So it starts here.
And does the pull, pull it down from the, oh man, that would be amazing. I imagine that we just go to the local cinema, the Hoyts, if you will.
Yes.
And then just freeze frame. And then just a dude comes out. It's got the pointer. So if you see here, here, and here.
That's the new after credit scene.
Dude, that's the new after credits.
Hey, for all you fools that didn't get what was going on. So if you see here.
There's like a seminar after the movie.
I would love that because the amount of questions I have to answer to people that just need to watch like 5 minutes more. We won't get into that. Vincent, before we get into the hits and the misses, one thing that I want to talk about, which made me laugh throughout this whole movie, but I mean it's understandable. So the main character in this movie, I want to get her name up.
I don't think
is Naru.
Naru, that's right. I did know that.
And you know from the start that she's the main character. She is a lady who is trying to improve her hunting skills, wanting to go from being the gatherer role to being the hunter role.
She wants to go on the big hunt, I'm assuming is like the rite of passage for the males in the.
And once you do that big hunt, you're like in there. You're in the mix of being the hunter.
Like I've done the big hunt.
Yeah.
Like now I've got to do the big farmer. That's next. And then big ag.
Bro, you got to watch out because that's Monsanto.
And then you just keep going up.
So she wants to be involved with big hunter, big farmer, big Monsanto. She wants to be involved with everything, right? But at the start, she's trying to prove herself by saying, "Hey, look, I'm good enough to do this." But in all instances, she's failed. And they're like, "Hey, bro, you can't do this." And she's like, "Nah, I'm good enough." It's like, well, 3 times out of the 5 that you've gone out there, you've proved that you're not good enough.
Yeah, bro, she's got CTEs.
I mean, after that incident with the lion, she's got CTEs.
Yeah, but then she got knocked out again
by a human,
by the Frenchman.
By the Frenchman, yeah, and a Frenchman will do it to you. Like, as
that Frenchman did it to him.
Yeah, I've seen Cyril Gain and he in the UFC, and he's knocked a couple of people out.
Who?
That's just my man's right there. Okay. But let's talk about the hits and the misses. I want you to tell me, out of all, especially the hunting scenes, because there's a big portion of this, or in fact, the majority of this movie is the hunt. And initially it starts off being just general hunts.
Because there's multiple hunts.
There's multiple hunts.
Multiple.
But they all seem to be leading to, well, at least providing clues and marks towards the predator.
Yeah, I think this movie was actually, the plot was set out very well.
Mm.
There was enough little bits to get to. Obviously, you're waiting for the final confrontation with Predator and Naru.
Yeah.
That's what you're there for.
Oh, yeah, you've been there for that.
Yeah.
That's what you've been there for.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But there was little bits leading up to that I don't know, just it felt like nice steps up, but the tension also grew because you had because the first time I thought we were going to get the Predator straight out the gate, but then they had mountain lions.
I know,
because when you see the lightning or whatever in the clouds, I thought, oh, it's not a mountain lion, bro.
Like Predator's doing these things.
Like Predator's doing these things. Or Predator's there. It's not the mountain lion, it's the Predator.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I just got a phone call, but keep going.
Yeah, so I think the plot was set out very well.
And the good thing is you didn't have to have major diverging and converging plots. It just had to be, this is the hunt. Oh my goodness, there's Frenchmen. And then there's a Predator.
Oh my goodness, there's Frenchmen. And I can't remember what the brother's name was.
The brother, on the IMDb's at least, I couldn't see his name, but let me just have a quick look.
Because he was a cool character too. I liked his war paint or face paint, or
he was a cool character. Now just let's relax here. I'm looking at you specifically, all right, Vincent? But here's one of the things that I liked about him was that he played that brotherly role where he was like, look, I do like you because you're my sister, but also like if you keep doing dumb idiot stuff, I'm gonna have to let you know.
Yeah, that's right.
But I also think that they worked really well together, and I'm sad. So there's this one scene in which they come together to fight the Predator, those two.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that we didn't get more of them.
Them fighting together.
Them fighting together.
Yeah.
And I know that this movie was about her having to prove herself to the community that she lived in. But also, if she had already proved herself prior to this, there wouldn't be much plot, I guess, other than the fact they got to kill a predator. But if she had proved herself and it was just the initial hunts of her and her brother just out there doing hunting things, like doing tag team hunting things,
Yeah.
that would have been wild.
That would have been cool. But, I mean, then you probably would have said there was too much of her and her brother doing tag team hunting.
I mean, it's not a lesser movie either way, right?
No, that's right.
But he was very cool, and his final scenes against the predator were fantastic.
Yeah, I love the recurring dialogue of, you go no further. This is it for you. You go no further.
Yeah.
And then he said that he said that to Naru when talking about the mountain lion, I think. Mm-hmm. And then with the predator, when he was dead, bro. He was speared. Wolverine forgot the middle finger and he was speared.
I understand, and this theme is important, for everyone,
because then at the end, Naru's there.
And who stepped further?
Who steps further?
Yeah, no one.
Well,
because you said you don't step further,
Yeah, but she steps further.
But she steps further.
Yeah.
This is just a good goal for everyone to be able to get to a situation and be like, hey, look, the only person passing this is me, right? I'm passing go. I'm collecting $200.
That's
I'm
right.
done.
That'll happen one day with the Back Catalogue podcast. Like one of us will come in here and be like, "You go no further. This is it for you." And then the next week it'll just be the one of us. It'll just be me.
Yeah, and you just have like a mannequin of me.
Yeah,
just
a cardboard cutout. I'll have a mannequin and I'll tape a moustache to it.
Dude, the thing about you is you'd figure out a way to weekend at Bernie's it. So even if I fell off the planet or something happened to me, I'd be here still. And you'd be like, hey, Apo, what's going on? Oh, do you want to do the intro? Actually, no, I'll do the intro today, bro. You look tired.
I mean, realistically, I've got enough video footage to deep fake you.
Yeah, but you haven't got, there's not enough, man. There isn't enough.
No, there's enough.
There's enough?
There's enough.
Okay, well, that's fantastic.
Because there's definitely enough audio.
There's definitely enough. I've said every word that you could say.
That's right.
Yeah. Even the ones you don't want me to say.
Bro, AI is doing wild things out here.
Yeah, I know.
And we can talk about that in the Patreon as well.
So, including AI, I want to know, what did you think about the design of this predator?
It threw me when you said including AI.
I know. I just couldn't think of a segue back.
I know, because that didn't really make sense. I thought the predator was cool.
Real cool though, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't remember what he has been in other movies.
Well, here's the thing. The Predator has always been very cool.
Yeah.
The original design of the Predator is like almost flawless. But I like that this one it's just the same looking dude. Like you could tell that there was differences to this dude. I liked, because where was his mask from? Was that something that he had from the start?
Yeah.
That helmet?
Yeah, the helmet.
Okay, so he didn't just get it from like someone on that planet. He didn't get like from a moose on that planet or something. He had it prior to his getting it. But I liked it when his mask was off and you got to see the tusks.
Yeah.
You got to see the
pure mouth.
ferocity of his face.
That was wild.
Because I think that's cool. And just like the previous Predator movies, it's cool that this was actually a dude in a suit. Right?
Yeah, it wasn't CG.
Yeah. Like, because when you even though this movie did very well with what it had, when you did see the lion and the bear, like that's not a lion and a bear.
The lion wasn't too bad. I think the bear, at some points, I realized that's 100% CG.
Yeah.
It just, you know what? I think sometimes it can look too smooth.
The fur
in terms
physics,
of the movement.
right?
Maybe not. Maybe the fur, but just something looks too smooth.
Yeah. I will say my heart started to pump when the bear looked up and just started sprinting up the hill.
Bro, the whole bear scene was really cool and really suspenseful. And
because here's the thing that I like to speak of when it comes to bears and mountain lions and things. And I don't know if I've said this on this podcast, but I'm going to say it again if I have. People in America or in Canada look towards us.
I knew this is what you're going to say. And we've said this many times. Bro, look at these dangerous spiders and snakes that are this big.
Bro, I'll step on a spider if I need to, right? I'll step on a spider or I'll walk away from a snake.
Yeah. I mean, you just stay still and that's it.
The reality is, unless you've stepped on a snake and you've looked down and the snake's looked up, you're going to get bitten then.
Yeah.
But if you have it or you put your hand into what's this hole? I wonder if there's honey. And then you put your hand in there, you just get bitten by 6
You're doing Yogi Bear things. Instead of taking picnic baskets, You just digging your hand into random holes looking for honey.
You come out with more than just honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've said it once and I'll say it again. Like if I saw a bear 100 meters away from me or a snake 100 meters away from me, I'm surviving one of those.
That's right.
10 out of 10 times.
For sure. Because the snake, if it's how many meters?
10 meters.
10 meters.
Yeah.
Bro, you just get back. You just, nice walk back to your vehicle, back to the trail or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're off.
If a snake started running at me from 10 meters away, I'm out of there. I flexed. I'm gone. Right? Snakes aren't moving that quickly.
You check your watch. See how much time you've got to be on your nature walk before you have to go to your cousin's christening.
Yeah.
And then you go. With the bear, bro, you look at your watch because you're like, I wonder how long have I lived? 4th of October, 2022. That's a good effort. And that's it.
That's a good amount of year. That's it. You don't even finish your word.
That's right.
Yeah, dude. But, that's the reality of living in the United States.
Yep.
My favorite bits of this movie are the back end.
The back end.
Like the back catalogue, the back end is extremely good. When you actually get that 1v1 action in any of the Predator movies, that's when these movies shine, right? I think from a character perspective, these characters were cool, but that's not what this movie was about. Unlike the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, which they were just like classic 80s characters who were almost...
they were
caricatures of that. So those characters, I think, played a better role in the story and in the enjoyment of people's... or the enjoyment
I think the
that people
supporting
had.
characters in this were good because it fed the narrative.
That's right, and it was just a means to get us to a point in which Predator was fighting things.
Yeah, and it was the whole you can't do this. This is not for you. This big hunt's not for you.
But you don't always need to have that's in a movie like this is what I liked about it, is that the directors and the writers understand that if you're doing a Predator movie, people want to see just fighting. They want to see like axes being thrown at people. They want to see all sorts of things like that because that's enjoyable. And you can have that movie every now and then that's just like, hey, this is just action all the time and fun all the time. Not that it was action all the time, but I'm saying that's the main focus of the story. I actually forgot about the initial guys that went on the hunt with them that ended up getting pieced up by the Predator.
The first part, as in which one?
No, the one when they were trying to track down Naru. And then they found her, and her brother was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then there was like 3 or 4 guys that were with her, and they were trying to piece up the Predator. And because Naru was in I don't know if she was
in
they
the
tied her up.
handcuff things, or handcuffs.
And the Predator just started piecing up the other dudes. They're getting thrown. They're doing spins in the air. They're getting sliced up.
You know what I liked? I liked that all these tertiary characters that we don't know the name of. I just spat on the thing. They were still good at fighting.
Oh yeah.
They were doing like go around the back, like go to the back end, and they were they actually did not too bad.
Yeah. They survived enough.
Yeah.
To show Naru what not to do.
Yeah, but also it wasn't just like the Predator. Ksha, ksha, ksha.
Yeah. And also that is hard when you do a story like that where it's like the Predator comes in just piecing up everyone like with single swipes.
Yeah.
Right? Then you get to the back end of the movie and you're like, how does the Predator not survive against this one person?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, she did prepare a fair bit, so she did her due diligence.
I mean, she did it. And preparation is key to success.
But in saying that, in all the fights that the Predator had, Mans didn't come out unscathed in any of them.
And this is what it's about, right?
Because he was testing his mettle.
Exactly. And the Predator knew that if it was like a serious situation in which like there was guns being aimed at his head and he had to shoot, he would shoot. But in other situations, he'd be like, let's do hand to hand.
That's right. With the wolf, the fight with the wolf was really good.
That was cool.
I really enjoyed that, especially because you have the wolf that was eyeing off the rabbit, and then he just hip and shoulders the wolf out of the way. The wolf's going, what the hell is going on?
I did feel sad about that scene because it's like this wolf has no means of understanding that this thing is like some outerworldly creature.
But neither does the bear.
Or the bear.
Yeah.
Or whatever animal.
That's right.
Whereas at least a human can be like, all right, this is not something from my planet.
They have the cognitive capabilities.
If I need to surrender, I'll surrender. If I lose, I lose. But this wolf is just like that's all it takes, right? And I feel sad that this thing can't contemplate that its hours are numbered.
It's hours of numbers. It's not looking at its watch.
No.
Going like, hey, I lived a pretty good life. It's going, bro, that was my rabbit.
And that was the rabbit. And this is the back catalogue. Vincent, is there anything else that you want to bring up, like specifically?
Specifically, yes. One thing that I think they could have done better in this movie is made it look like they were actually running fast.
They were running slow often.
Every time Naru's running, she's legging it. And it's like the shots are really making it look like she's jogging. She's going for that just like 42-kilometre marathon. She's pacing herself because she's only on 1.5 km. And she's got 37 kilometres left.
Well, I mean, a lot of these people, like in this movie, they're on their feet the whole time.
Yeah.
So they're probably fatigued as it is.
They are, but it's a movie.
And also the sprint is a different beast, right? So say if you've been walking all day, but then a bear comes up, that adrenaline's kicked in.
Exactly right.
You're sprinting. But I also, this is the other thing. I also think that no one's perfected the movie sprinting as well as Tom Cruise has.
Yeah, but you don't need to have the sprinting action, right? You need to make it look like, from the cameras, that it's going fast. For example, you move the camera so there's a lot of motion blur.
Yeah, see, but this is a thing that I think they were trying to do with this movie is they were trying to make sure that people see everything. Because a lot of a common criticism of action movies is the fact that the camera has been used in a certain way, which intensifies the
but that's
the
for
movement.
action a lot of the time. That's for the actual fighting.
Hey, but in some cases, it's fight, flight, or freeze, right? And this is the flight, so it's really interconnected. It's like a Venn diagram.
Yeah, but people don't go, bro, I can't believe they did so many cuts when they were running.
Yeah, but you would.
No,
if you did heaps of cuts, and it'd be like,
No, not
are they?
cuts. I'm not saying they need to do cuts.
Vincent, where are they? Like, that's what you'd be saying. Your partner would be asking you.
Bro,
and by
they're
your
in the
partner,
forest.
I mean your partner in
They're
crime.
in the forest and the out of the forest. And they're in the forest and the out of the forest. I don't have to go, bro, where are they? Did he go left? Is that Northeast Road?
Dude, if it was, man, Guzman Gomez would be close.
There you go. Guzmani
Shout out to the YouTube.
And that's Guzmani goated. So that was probably the only thing that I thought. And I think there was a bit too much dialogue at times.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, I don't know. Sometimes between Naru and her brother, sometimes felt like it was a bit not very natural.
Did you like it when he said, if it bleeds, we can kill it? Like a shout out to the other movies that have said that?
Oh, that was a shout out, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, especially now that I've realised that
You realise it's a shout out?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I know that throwbacks are okay, but I don't think that was needed. You know? Like, it doesn't change anything, I know. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
But also, like, let this movie, like, let these movies with good directors and good actors and a decent story just stand on their own.
Yeah, but you got to stay true to your roots, bro.
I mean, you got to stay
because
true
if
to
you
your
didn't
roots.
say that, how would you know it was the movie like in the 80s?
You know how I'd know?
How?
Because mans would go. And anyway, if you look at the biology of the ecosystem here,
You can see here that this lime green secretion is actually blood, and if it bleeds, you can actually kill it.
this is true. But I mean, in the
And
1850s,
they tap on the thing like
for the people in the 1850s, they would have really benefited from that
that's right.
because they bled people out. Thinking like, this is going to cure something. Like all his blood's gone. We can just fill him up with more blood. Wait a second. Did someone bring the other blood? And
Get the
man's
funnel.
dead.
And then man's is dead. That's right. No, so the other thing that I really enjoyed was when she was going back to get her dog. Also, shout out to the dog.
Shout out the dog, like cute dog. Also, just supporting a great supporting member of the cast.
Oscar for best supporting actor, actress. That scene when she was getting the dog and there was Frenchmen coming from all angles, and she was just throwing the axe and coming back because it was not too many cuts.
Yeah,
it was very focused on the actual moves rather than just the impacts. I thought that was the best fight scene of the entire movie.
And from my memory, keeping her, because was her brother involved in that?
No.
Okay, keeping her within, but this might not be true, but because I watched this now about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, keeping her in the center of the frame.
Yeah.
As well, which allowed you to always be focused on her movements and actions.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I really like that fight scene. And the end, I mean, it's so cool when she did all those things and you because she put the that mask after she shot it off the dude's head. She put that mask in that spot.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you've got that in the back of your mind. You're thinking, where's that coming into? And then she's saying, "This is it. It's as far as you go." And then you realise, man's got the dots on the side.
Man's got the dots on the side, dude. He didn't even know because he was too mad and just full of mud.
Full of mud.
Bro, imagine you fall into that pit and you come out. You're not happy after that.
That terrified me. That was scary.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, what do you do there?
Well, when she fell into the pit, I was more terrified than when the predator fell in.
Yeah.
But that was scary to me because, like, if you don't make it out of that, you just drown in mud. That'd be the worst thing to drown in.
That's what I'm thinking personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, that would be horrible. We've talked about this many times in our lives. But sand, quicksand, tar, this mud, all scary things to fall into.
Top 5 dead or alive movie villains. Freddy, Jason, Predator, that other one, quicksand.
Dude, quicksand is up there. But I think this was, as a fun movie that you could rewatch and just have fun with again. This is it. This is it. Now, was there a lot of hype for me before I watched this movie? Yes, there was. Did it live up to the hype that people were saying? Not necessarily, but in saying that, I still enjoyed this. Yeah, I'd give this like a 7.5.
I was just about to say, this is a 7 out of 10 for me, for sure. I really liked it. And I really liked the end when Naru became war chief.
Is that what happened?
I think so, because they mentioned war chief when her brother came back with the mountain lion.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming. But also just she looks at that little girl and then that was just like the icing on top of the cake for me. I mean, it's like you can do this too.
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's breaking down cultural barriers.
I mean, it's done broken at this point. In this movie, not in real life.
I was about to say,
not in real life. I'm not making statements like that.
In this movie, the barrier has been broken.
I was going to say, there's work to be done.
Also, the axe and the axe on the leash, bro. That's.
I mean, you think
keep your axes on a leash because they might go out and buy someone.
You think about how can something just so basic, like it is a tomahawk. How can you make it even cooler? And then you made it cooler, right?
So cool.
And like I say that as if a tomahawk wasn't cool because they are like anything throwable is cool in my opinion.
But then you got to go get it. I mean, I do like the idea of throwing a tomahawk at someone, coming through, running past them, picking it out of their heads, and then throwing it at the next dude. That is cool. But also, this is more efficient. That's right. She's looking at efficiency. And she's run the simulations.
She's done the one where she pulls it. And then in that motion throws it to the guy behind, which I think is great.
One of the things that I really enjoyed when her brother was fighting the predator, he had the bow and arrow. He'd shoot the predator, hit him with the arrow, then he'd go around, close quarters, grab the arrow, come back around and shoot him with the arrow again.
Dude, that was cool.
There were really good fight scenes in this movie.
Yeah. Now, shout out to the choreography of all those fight scenes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, next time I would like to see maybe... I don't know. Imagine like you just put Predator just in the Roman Colosseum, and he's just fighting the gladiators. Like, I mean, that's maybe a 30-minute movie, but at least that's killer.
Yeah, you can't really do that because the whole Predator thing is he's got his invisibility cloak. I
mean, you could do something where they like somehow capture the predators, and then they put them within the. How they used to have the lions. They chuck them out like that.
Yeah, and they're just predators, bro.
It's just predators.
I don't know if they're capturing the predators.
I mean, I don't think they could do that though. But hey, that's neither here nor there.
I also like the use of the, they had the mushrooms and the flowers and the things like that to do different, had different medicinal properties, and I don't know. It felt like it was a really good movie, and obviously I'm not of that culture.
I mean, but you're a lover of herbal medicines.
I'm a lover of herbal medicines.
Yeah.
No, I really like this movie.
It was good, and Vincent. This is
7 out of 10.
This is when you tell the individuals out there in here, up the stairs, down the stairs, wherever we happen to be, where they can find us.
Links below. Talk soon.
Talk soon.